So tell me, just how important is cash flow to your small law firm? Well, if you're like most attorneys that I work with through the years, you're probably going to rank that really, really important. So let's talk about that, shall we? My name is Richard James, and I'm here with you today on the Entrepreneurial Attorney Quick Tip, and we're going to discuss this concept of cash flow. But before we do, we need to talk about where does this come into play into what I call the perfect client lifecycle. You know, this is the stage that we measure in my world of how many leads are you generating, of those, how many are setting appointments, of those, how many show to their appointment, of those, how many retain the firm, of those, how many actually pay their bill in full. That's where we're going to focus today. The ones that we need to get to pay their bill in full. So that means we are focusing on those that are not paying their bill in some respects, because as I've come to learn from attorneys, most law firms are collecting at somewhere between 64 and 85%. Really, really terrible. Some are great, but most are just terrible at getting paid. So let's pay attention to how we accomplish getting more money into your law firm. So one thing I'd have to ask you is, if I said to you, you know, how important is oxygen to you as a human on a scale from 1 to 10? You'd probably tell me, hey, Rich, it's like an 11, right? Can't live without oxygen. Well, the cash flow is the oxygen of your law firm. So I'd ask you, how important is cash flow to your law firm? You'd probably tell me, yeah, really important, like an 8, 9, or 10. Those are usually the numbers that I hear. Well, I'd ask you one more question. Your clients that you work with, how good are they at managing like their own money, do you think, in your opinion, based on what you know about them? Most attorneys tell me that not really good. Like some are 1s, 2s, some are -3s, especially if they're like bankruptcy attorneys or tax resolution attorneys. But many attorneys tell me that their clients are typically not really good at managing their own money. That's not unusual. The world that we live in is full of people who are not really good at managing their money, right? And so the question is this: if cash flow is really important to managing your money, why do most law firms allow their clients who are not very good at managing their money control their cash flow? And so here's what we're going to do. I want you to put you back in control of your cash flow. The way we're going to do that is 3 simple steps. The first, I want you to start in the consult room. Remember, all cash flow problems start in the consult room. And so here is the rule. Anybody can hire the firm for whatever amount of money you determine they can retain the firm for, but nobody can retain the firm unless they agree to a written payment plan of how they're going to pay you back. I can't tell you how many attorneys I work with that don't start in the consult room by laying out in the client service agreement, fee agreement, whatever you call it, exactly what date and how they're going to pay you. Right? That is like ground rule number 1. Everybody can hire the firm, but only people can hire the firm if they're going to pay you over time is if they give you a written payment plan. Step number 2, we're always going to harvest a debit or credit card. If you don't take debit or credit cards in your law firm, you're missing out. You're missing the boat, period. I promise you that 1.7 to 2.7% that you're going to pay is well worth the investment to be taking credit cards. So we definitely want to take credit cards. If you're a bankruptcy firm, I get it. You have to take a debit card, not a credit card. Or you could take somebody else's third-party credit card. But bottom line is always harvest the credit card. And if you can, harvest a backup, right? Not just the primary, but harvest a backup card as well. Just in case the first payment fails on the first card, you can go ahead and charge the second card. Build it right into the payment plan. And 3, this is the biggest one, proactive communication. The number 1 complaint against all law firms is the lack of communication. That is number 1 complaint to every bar association in America about all law firms. How do we fix that? By using proactive communication in your collections department. No, don't pick up the phone and just call Sally when she owes you money. Let's pick up the phone and call Sally in advance of when she owes you money and keep in touch with her regularly so that when she falls off plan and she no longer sticks to the plan she agreed to, we can easily get her back on plan because we have a relationship with her. But if the first time you call Sally after months of dealing with her case or not dealing with her case is when her payment plan cancels or fails, you're not going to get a call back because Sally doesn't want to hear from you because she knows why you're calling her. But if you had built a relationship with Sally, we can have a regular conversation about keeping her on plan. Oh yeah, and by the way, it shouldn't be you, the attorney, who is picking up the phone and talking to Sally. It should be somebody else. So, quick 3 steps. Start in the consult room. Make sure that everybody has a plan to pay back the bill that they owe you, to pay off the amount that they owe you before you work on the case, depending on how your firm works. 2, always harvest a debit card and a credit card. If you can, harvest a backup. And step 3, use proactive communication. Not only will you create a better relationship with your client and keep people on plan versus off plan and make sure you have more cash flow coming in, but you will reduce the number of client complaints to the Bar Association or to you about the lack of communication. Listen, I hope you enjoyed today's conversation about how to increase cash flow to your law firm, how to make oxygen and cash flow rank at the exact same level and mean it for your life and your law firm. If you want to learn more about me, feel free. Go ahead, click on the link in the communication, and we'll make sure that you can discover how you can get free copies of my book or other courses that I teach. My name is Richard James, and today it's been a real blessing to work with you on your law firm, one cash flow system at a time.